Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this very special live update here on Parliament Hill. We are about 25 minutes away from the amazing fireworks. Hopefully, they're not canceled tonight. As you can imagine, we've been canceling a lot of things over this last year. But before we start the show, let me ask you to join me in welcoming my co-host tonight. You can find Julie at Maison Jupiter on YouTube and also at maisonjupiter.com. Julie, welcome back to the show. Thank you for helping me out today.
Hi, Jean-Claude. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Julie, do you want to bring up the live shot of Parliament Hill? Hopefully, we're going to be able to share this with the audience tonight and show them the amazing fireworks. You can kind of see me in the background there. I'm trying to not create an echo here with the lighting, and that's about the best I can do for now. So we are about, as I say, 25 minutes away from the fireworks, and I thought we'd take a little bit of time to recap the day, the energies today, some of those things that we weren't able to get through in terms of questions from the audience members today when we were live on Parliament Hill, have a conversation with all of our beautiful guests, and hopefully maybe also have time to get Janine on the chat. I did send her the links. We are triple casting to both your channel and mine right now. So a big thank you to all of you tonight joining us here on this live stream. Julie, where do you want to start? How was you were managing the screen tonight? I was on the street. It's always harder for me to see and read the comments when I'm live on location. What was the general feeling today in the live chat while we were recording on Parliament Hill?
Well, first of all, I have to say that I am not as good as you multitasking, so I'm still a student learning how to manage the studio. But I feel like the general theme in the chat had to do with, I think, USA and Canada maybe uniting somewhere in the near future. Because if I remember correctly, Janine was talking about a removal of borders. So a lot of people, and myself included, I think we thought of maybe she meant USA and Canada. So let's hope it's true. And also, like, we're so close between the July 1st celebrations and the July 4th celebration that we're going to have in a few days. So that makes us like a brother sister type of relationship.
Yeah, pretty much. Hankowitz in the chat says, JC sets a pretty high bar, Julie, but you did an excellent job. Yes, I concur, Hankowitz. Julie did an amazing job. And most of the technical difficulties was beyond her control, of course. We were having issue with the sound. There's a lot of wind for the microphones, but there seemed to be also maybe some disruption in some of the cell tower coverage on location today. We noticed that suddenly the videos were fine as soon as we were not live. So it's kind of like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Julie, hold on. If you want to bring up on the slide screen also, Janine, Julie, the live coverage from today. So if people haven't seen that, we can kind of run the B-roll here as we're talking and as we're waiting for the main fireworks show. So if you go to my YouTube channel and pick up the video from earlier today, people will be able to see a little bit what was going on here. And yeah, just press the there you go. Okay, very good. Yeah, so I was having a jolly good time, and of course it was very different than the last time I was here for the Freedom Convoy. That time it was minus 30, and today it was plus 30. It felt pretty hot at some points underneath the scorching sun. So I'm glad to be back in the hotel room in the air conditioning. Sarah's feeling a little off today too. I think a little bit too much sun this afternoon. On top of the sun, Julie, let's talk about this. There was a few people who reached out to me this afternoon saying that they were also on Parliament Hill and they were feeling very anxious, nauseous, feeling like their bones were aching. Is it possible that there was something more going on than just maybe sunstroke for some of these people? Was there some technology being used?
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about the card pull you did later this evening, Julie.
Yeah, and right before I talk about the cards we pulled for this, I just remembered in the astrology today we have a hard square between Pluto and Mars. So it's like the perfect combination for like psychic attacks or energy attacks. Pluto's the planet of control, and Mars is the planet of police force, military, also attacks. It's a very sometimes violent type of energy. So when we have a hard alignment between those two, we have to be careful for accidents, for psychic attacks, for anything that uses force against us, basically. So,
Okay.
and then if I remember the cards we pulled when you asked me about what kind of energy was around the manifestation today, I've got the Force card and the Knight of Swords. So it's like a basically an energy attack. So
Hmm.
I feel like they were kind of using some energy devices to maybe disrupt people energetic field, especially for people having maybe weaker boundaries or maybe more cracks in their shield. So yeah, that's what I got from the cards. What do you
Wow.
think?
And speak also to maybe the technology or the strategy being used to try to maybe target a specific group, mainly those that were between the two densities. Explain why maybe that is and how that could work.
Yeah, from the cards I pulled, I had the Two of Wands. And also, I've got the Empress. So the Empress made me think of more women being more vulnerable to those types of attacks. And I've got also the Queen of Swords, which is also a feminine energy. But the Queen of Swords has really strong boundaries. So that's why I was saying for people maybe struggling a little bit more, having stronger boundaries, like myself right now, I'm still learning to like really protect my energy field. So for people that are empaths and really struggling more to have stronger boundaries, they're more vulnerable to those type of attacks. And
Hmm.
also, I had the Two of Wands. And in that type of scenario, I've got like a download saying for people that are right now in between two worlds, so one foot in the old world and one foot in the new world, uh, I feel like they're the people that are being targeted right now with those psychic attacks, and um, maybe like the dark forces using those cracks in order to penetrate them and maybe prevent them from making progress in this new world type of scenario. So they're like at a crossroad in
Right.
their lives and they have to make important changes, important choices. So I feel like they're very vulnerable to those attacks right now.
Well, that makes sense. And Amethyst Dragonfire is saying, hey, what do you mean by two densities? I think Julie just explained it now. They were front running your question there. But yeah, it would make sense that they would target those who, like you say, have one foot in one density and the other foot. Those are probably the best to try to quash back down to the third density into that fear programming, which is very relevant in the last couple of days. As you and I were saying during the show earlier today in the live stream, it appeared that the media decided to go crazy on the volume in terms of the fear tactics in the last couple of days. They're talking about this new strain. They're talking about a seventh wave. They need to go for masks right now. Actually, they're calling for that here in the summer. I don't know if you guys saw the latest National Post article yesterday. They're calling for masks again. So yeah, there's a lot of fear being put out. Now, Julie, let's switch gears a little bit here. In the last show that we did, the pay-per-view investigation on the Vatican, we talked about why perhaps they're so stressed right now and why they've put the volume to a high level on fear. It seems that they're panicking, but they might be behind the eight ball for a specific date or a specific return. Can
Mhm.
you gently explain that here? Choosing your words, of course, this is the censored show, but let people know if they watch the Vatican investigation, what they can expect there in relation to the question I just asked you.
Yeah, well, at the very end of the show, we pulled some guidance cards in regards to knowing why this topic was very important for us to know about at this precious at this specific time. So the cards we got, it's like if I remember correctly, it was a card were a rainbow bridge. So again, this theme of being in between two worlds, bridging maybe 3D and 5D. So we're about to shift. Um, in the next, some people use the word dimension, others use the word density, but for me it's basically the same concept. We're getting lighter in our energetic bodies, so I feel like we have to drop a lot of the old that stuff that's very, very heavy in our magnetic fields. And a big part of this letting go of the burden, I think, is shedding some lights on the truth of what's happening on Earth. And apparently, Vatican is a very central place of this control matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if we can say is or was, but
Right.
I feel like it's,
Or trying to maintain, maybe. Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like we learned that a lot of it was dismantled, but it's important still for us to learn about what was going on there, to step into the light even more and let go of these old heavy energies, because we're ascending.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like it's a big part of the answer.
Can you bring up the poster of the Vatican show right now for people who haven't heard about it? We did post it on my Twitter, and it's also, of course, on the pay-per-view page. The reason I say that too, often people ask me, "Where's the video?" You can do a search, or you can click on the latest videos when you're on the pay-per-view page, and you'll be displayed here what we have just recently put up for you guys. So that's the show we're talking about. And if you look at the reviews right now too, a lot of the comments have to do with, oh wow, there's a lot of secrets revealed in this episode, and even you and I were like kind of dumbfounded to some of the answers that Janine and the cards were giving us. So anyways, guys, do go check that out. I think right now, if I look at the trends, it's probably our most popular, or at least it's trending to be our most popular investigation show ever. So there's something really weird in the energy field right now that's, I guess, enticing us to look at this information a little bit more deeply. And perhaps it has to do with the Fatima, the three revelations. It perhaps has something to do with the fact that a lot of people are saying that maybe the Pope has already been, left. Let's just put it that way. So there's a lot there. And I think we're probably going to see more and more of that in the next couple of days and weeks here. So fascinating times indeed.
Yeah,
So
if I can add to that, sorry.
Yeah.
I just remembered also from the astrological standpoint, at the end of the year, around fall season, we're going to see another occurrence of the Saturn-Uranus square for the last time. So we've had 3 squares for between those two planets 3 times during 2021. So it's like the last fight, last chapter of the big fight.
Yeah.
So this is going to happen this fall season. So I feel like they're aware it's coming up. It's their last chance to put all the guns and try their hardest. But it's like the future is already decided for sure who's going to win, but still. So I feel like they're preparing for this last battle.
Yeah, Parisan is saying, JC, I agree, and I can feel strongly there is definitely something in the energy field. Yeah, I agree. Well, with respect to the Vatican, perhaps even the Queen, perhaps even something big happening south of the border here for our American friends between here and July 4th. As you know, there's a famous letter in the alphabet that started posting again just a couple of days ago. So it seems that I was asking Janine the other day, and it seems that we've just entered perhaps a new phase in this spiritual war. So things are about to shift, and we're seeing it now in a big way in the financial system. And just in Australia the other day, there's one of those banks that was going under, and a lot of media were reporting, take your money out before you can't. So this is Australia. This is not, in the middle of Africa somewhere in a war-torn country. This is the Five Eyes. And so when we're seeing these types of news in the mainstream news, we know that we're close here to something big in terms of a shift happening. On top of that, today also I saw some news about the state of the affairs of finances of the middle class here in North America, and it's not looking well with all of the inflation, the continued taxes. The spending or the sentiment is very low right now, and people are feeling perhaps the echoes in time of the Great Depression, and they're starting to hold back on this discretionary spending. So that's going to exacerbate the problems moving forward even so. I see Janine is trying to connect. She's in the live chat now. I don't see an image, but let's see if we can bring her up, Julie, and if we get an audio from her. Can you bring her up, Julie? Okay. Hi, Janine. We don't see you, but can we hear you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Well, welcome, Janine. Let me take this out of the way here. There you go. Janine, I'm so happy to have you here. We're about 9 minutes away, if they don't cancel the fireworks on us here, from having a beautiful show. As you can see in the background there, we have the Parliament Hill Tower. So we're excited for that. Janine, let me ask you here, as you hung up from the show earlier today, the live stream on Parliament Hill, did something come over you? We had a lot of emails of people saying that there was some weird energy. They felt that maybe they were energetically attacked, maybe by or directed weapons also. What was your gut feeling after we hung up the show earlier today?
Well, I wasn't feeling anything negative. I was feeling an overwhelming positive myself. Like I have a feeling we're going into a really big shift, and it could be scary, but I get it. We'll come out the other side in a positive way. So maybe that's what they're picking up on, is we're going through a tunnel of change, is kind of the feeling I was getting. But that could be really scary for people.
Well, I agree with you, but I think there's two things here we're confabulating. I think ultimately everybody here in the chat agrees with you that this is where we're going, but it appeared that there was a technology at play today to maybe target those that were between both worlds, that were kind of waking up, so that they could crank the fear factor on them and maybe push them back into the 3D world.
I see. Okay, I get it. So I just pulled a few cards. I got the Two of Pentacles. Too bad. I don't know why you can't see me. This is really weird. Yeah, I'm using my phone, so I wonder what's going on.
You're completely blacked out. It's
super weird. Nothing over my video. Why don't I, because I'd love to show the cards, why don't I hang up and see if I can try again?
Okay, sounds good. We'll wait for you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You guys keep chatting, and I'll see if I can get on my computer.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
And Carol is saying, wouldn't it be something if we saw a UFO in JC's window? Wouldn't that be
Wouldn't that be good?
That's cool. Okay, guys, we're 7 minutes away. I think what we're going to do, we'll ask Janine, of course, a couple of questions, as many as we can, before we see the fireworks. And maybe we'll do a few commentary during the fireworks. But I really wanted to have the opportunity to share with you at least the excitement, the beauty, the coming together of Canadians watching the fireworks here. I know for many of you, this is bittersweet in terms of celebration for Canada Day, knowing and being awake in these times, of course. But at the same time, we do need to take the time in this community to get together and perhaps celebrate some of the small victories, even if that's just being able to be together to celebrate small victories. It very much feels like a celebration in and of itself. So JC, thank you, JC. Excellent idea. Thank you, Susan. Guys, if you have, JC, you look like a floating head. I know I'm wearing a black t-shirt. I'm in the black. I have just a spotlight. It's very dramatic. Jesse D. Guys, if you have specific questions for Janine too, put them in high caps now. We're in the live chat here. Of course, I'm on a remote location. I'll do my best to try to pick him out here. But if you put them in high caps, it's a little bit easier for Julie and I to pick him up during the live chats here like this, when we're not fully equipped in the studio to handle that stuff. So we'll try to get a few more questions in from Janine. What did you make of that card she pulled, Julie? Do you want to pick up on that? What did she say?
Well, she said she had the Two of Pentacles. So it's like, I got a Two of Wands. So again, I got that we were like in between two worlds, or targeting people that were in between two worlds. And she got the Two of Pentacles. So I was very curious what she was going to come up with as a meaning for that card.
Very good. Okay, so we'll wait for Janine to come back on, but Macaroni. I love the people have the best imaginations for these nicknames. Of course, says Julie and fireworks. what else can we ask?
Oh, and JC.
Yeah, and of course, Julie, you did an amazing job today. A big thank you again for you helping me out, because when I'm live on the street, it would be impossible to do it without you. So big
Thank you. Learning from the best, you know.
Thank you. Appreciate that too. Okay, let's see. While we wait for Janine, is there anything else? The Astro Woo. Why don't we talk about, maybe for the people who haven't seen it here, there's two. Oh, I think Janine is back and I see her. Woohoo! Janine, you're back home.
She's back.
Yay. Figured it out. I don't know what was going on with my phone, but I'm on my computer, so.
Okay. So you were saying, Janine, you picked the Two of Pentacles. Keep going.
Yeah. So you were saying there was an odd feeling like we're going to get, it's like they're throwing the last, like, this card it's like a desperate attempt. Like they're desperately trying anything they can. I think the bad guys, but I feel like we've won on the back channel. So that's the good news. I think my guides, or the way I get things, I always see the more positive. I know that can sound like hopium. So I do understand that Two of Pentacles isn't easy, because it'll feel like everything's going backwards.
Mm.
It'll feel like we're getting thrown back into another situation, locking, like all those things you were saying today, where they were even masking again and all that kind of silliness. I feel like we're gonna see that. It's like the end of remember that road trip? Like those signs got worse and worse, and weather got better and better. So I guess we'll just have to keep the big vision as we go through to the other side. It's going to be like a tunnel.
Well, there you go, folks. On that note, we're starting the fireworks. Julie, can you bring that up on the screen?
Yep.
For some reason, I can't drag it.
Here we go.
There we go.
Woo. And were there any incidents?
There was an altercation with the cops earlier today, and some people who had speakers, because again, a lot of people were trying to have like impromptu press conferences, speak to the crowd, rally the troops, and those people with magnaphones and speakers were having some issues with the cops. I think you guys can see that on Rebel News. They did quite a documentary on that as well. So can you guys see that okay? Should I center that a little bit more? Or are you happy with that? What do you think, Julie?
Can you zoom a little bit?
I don't know that I can zoom my phone camera when it's on.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
You might be able to do that, Julie.
Oh yeah.
Wait. From that window, can you zoom that window? No, I don't think you can zoom that window. Maybe I can. Let me try something here. No, I can't. That's the best it's going to be from that. See, and now I'm in the way.
Yeah.
Let me see if
You're the fireworks.
Hey?
You're the fireworks.
Yeah, let me see if I can get myself out of that. Hold on a second. I'll see what I can do. Is that a little bit better? But you won't see me though if I do that. Yeah, let me put my avatar here, and I'll bring my light down and see what we can do. Hold on a second. So stop my camera. You guys can still hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, so now I'll close this light. Can you see that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. And unfortunately, I don't think I can zoom. Let me go check it out. I'll walk over to the cell phone. I'll be right back. Hold the line for me.
Okay.
We're holding.
Hey, Janine. Yes. I've got a good question.
Yep.
For you.
Yep.
So Ash Nix is asking, how might we protect ourselves in the coming days? So what's the best way to protect ourselves, I guess, energetically speaking?
So just keep in mind, even though your version of truth might not look like anything they're showing in the mainstream, okay, because this guy defends his honor. So he defends it, the old-fashioned word valor. So he's defending his own right to see things a certain way, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Believes in himself, and he's sticking up for his own beliefs and vision. Okay, so we're going to need to do that. Stay with our knowing and don't get sort of sucked back into all the negativity that's coming our way and all of the falsehoods, because it's like it wasn't just me today that got that doctor they were talking about who apparently passed over, who's also a big advocate against all the agendas and everything. Okay, someone else looked at it. Arcana Shores, I believe her name is, and a couple other psychics too. And I got people writing me and saying all of these other people were looking at that today too. They got the very same thing I got.
Yeah, so I saw that.
There's a likelihood that things could not be as they seem.
Right.
So we're going to need to stay with our vision and trusting. So trusting the bigger universal situation, trust that we know the truth, that we know our own truth, at least know that. We might not know for sure what's going on, but trust in your own knowing that the human race is going to survive, that we deserve and we're worthy. That we don't have to be an enslaved people. Like, this is ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Like the things that for instance, Canadian government's been pushing, doesn't make any sense to a nation that presents the way we do in the world. It makes no sense. So it's really showing itself to be what it really was underneath. And
Right.
there's no covering up for the kind of agendas. So that tells me it's probably a fear ploy to wake people up. You know, it's almost like so exaggerated that it's like watching a cartoon of what a leader would do if he wanted to be, you know, a dark cult leader. You know what I mean? It's almost like a cartoon of that. It's so exaggerated. So that's how that's part of how I come to, and also the cards agree, it seems, that this could be a big show here. So we need to stay just at least grounded in trust that we don't deserve to be treated that way, and stick to our own personal vision of what the world can be and not get too sucked into the fear.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like one good way to preserve our energy is to link even more with like-minded people, like this community, for example. So if I talk for myself, I like watching you on Mondays and Wednesdays. You guys go after all the news, and I feel like I'm not crazy. I feel like I've got a bunch of people thinking just like I do. So for me, it's a lot of mental support.
Yeah. And
So
I
that's
love.
I was going to say it's a good way to protect our energy in this way, to link up even more with people that validate the way you think and don't think you're crazy.
Yeah. And when you guys, when Jean-Claude texted and says, hey, jump on if you can, I'm like, you know what? There's nothing I'd rather do than be hanging out with you and Jean-Claude and all the beautiful viewers, because now I feel like I got people that understand me.
Yeah.
And I'm not hanging out with anybody tonight, but I'm hanging out with you guys, and that's all of us. That's all we need right now, because well, we're going to need everybody to know soon. But I feel like just to get through this hard part, sticking together, I would agree 100% what you said.
Well,
that's so sweet.
Thank God I'm not on camera, because you're going to make me cry, Janine. Right. Okay, I'm reading all the comments. You guys seem to be, that's the best I can do with the view from the cell phone here. I hope you guys can see that clearly. But again,
it's nice.
I echo the same sentiment, Janine and Julie, just being part of this community, knowing that we're not crazy, just that, to being able to hold on right now as we're being bombarded with all of this obfuscation, lies, fear, and all of that. I mean, that's worth $1 million to me, like more than anything. You can, I just can't put words to it. So a big thank you to everyone, and a big thank you for sure to you, Julie and Janine. Wow. Janine, we are about 5 minutes into the fireworks show. Is there anything else you were thinking about tonight? There's a lot of people asking in the last day or two. I'm going to try not to make a nickel here in the fireworks. You can see me as a ghost in the fireworks waving there. There you go. People are asking, is this weekend the weekend of the reset? Now, some people in the chat are using specific words about a specific kind of reset. Some people are just saying, generally speaking, are we going to see the big financial shift? We've been waiting for. Now, of course, you and I agree that it is ongoing. It is currently happening. But I think the sentiment of the question is, are we going to see that perhaps in a big way in the mainstream news, meaning that we're shifting over to a new financial system for everyone to see?
Interesting. Well, we've got the Four of Wands, which is a gateway. So it's sort of echoing that you're saying it's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see, so you see in the background of this picture that there's people dancing and celebrating. So we're so close. We just have to go through the gateway. Okay. So come through that gateway. And then we've got the Judgment card, which is like a wake-up call card. So it's certainly on the horizon and likely been going on, like you said, in the background. Okay, so it feels like there's imminent energy there. It's really intense. This card was in the middle, so it's a strategy card. So they're still strategizing when's the best. I feel like it already happened because this card was in the background. So this happened already. So it's already gone. Whatever changes they've made, they've already made them. And this feels like now there's just a whole bunch of posturing and strategy to keep the old system appearing to be running. I'll tell you guys something really interesting. I got a really cool guy that works at the bank. He's a teller at the bank. My bank, and I won't say his name or anything. He didn't give me permission. Nice guy. I always talk to him when I'm in there, and he watches the show. He recognized me one time when I was in there and we made friends. Anyway, he, kind of nodded to me, taking out as much cash as I could and helped me do that. Right? Pulled a few strings to help me. Yeah, to be able to, because he's thinking things could get a little touch and go, but he doesn't have any real info. As he said, he's just a teller. So he doesn't know, but there's rumbling. So it's really important to just stay. I think we'll get a lot of it back if things shut down for a while. And that was kind of what he was alluding to. But if you need a hold of some big chunks for various different things, like you got a contractor to pay or you got something coming up, right? You might want to get some chunks out and keep it in a safe place.
Actually, that was a recurring theme. Julie, do you want to bring up the poster for the Astro Woo Finance, the reading we just did for the month of July, just for the audience members to see the tag there? Janine, you just mentioned about being in control of your own money, but there was another recurring theme there for many of the signs we were reading for, and it went something to the effect that people were going to be called to move their money very quickly here, perhaps in the month of July. So something was creating this impetus for them to move their money out of harm's way. Do you want to, there was a question in the chat, let me see here, from Ash Nix, and they were asking, how might we protect ourselves in the coming days? Let's push that out for July here. If in fact there is this move here, or this event that might force people to really move their money out of harm's way, what's the best way to do that? We talked about in the Astro Woo limiting or removing all third-party risk or counterparty risk between you and your money. But what else can the cards say there to help them navigate these times, Janine?
Yeah, so what I'm getting is holdups. So anything you can do that you won't get stuck, held up, so now you can't get hold of it. There could be some days here where you can't actually get to it. So shutdowns, that could have something to do with blackouts or both, various different countries. They're already experiencing it in some countries. People are writing where they were told, there's some US viewers saying that they were told by, I won't say the name of the bank, but a big one in the US, to come and remove monies as soon as possible. And then Australia's had some interesting things. I posted a few things. I shared a few things that I was hearing that was happening in Australia. Other people wrote me and said Australia has always had that. There was something I posted about a guy who couldn't get money out without explaining every little thing he was doing with it. An Australian fellow, which seems ridiculous. It's your money. Okay. But somebody else wrote me and said, okay, that's happened here for a long time. Okay. So I guess people need to really think about, is that the kind of world you want to live in, where you are keeping something supposedly safe somewhere, but you have to beg it out? That doesn't make any sense. Right? And they were
I totally agree.
good. Yeah. How is that for your own good?
Right, that's really good. Julie, can you bring up the poster also? We put a special on for the Astro Finance. I just sent you the last slide that I put on Telegram for Janine and myself, but essentially it's the coupon code for the 30% off of the last Astro Woo. And I wanted to ask Janine, for the people who haven't seen these episodes yet, explain to them why and how absolutely powerful it is to bring both the tarot and the astrology together, not just for the finance. Yes, it's a big part of what's happening right now, but also their health, their business, their homestead, their relationship, and how these shows really help people navigate here in a very specific way based on both their astrology and their tarot. What would you say to them?
Julie, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we're going over the astrology for the whole month of July in this case. So astrology and tarot really work together, really work well together. And we're going, first of all, doing an overview of all the energies for the whole month of July with tarot and astrology, and also the best strategies you can use towards your finances, but also all the aspects of your life. Because we started out focusing more on finances, but then we discovered that finances is also influenced by so many other aspects of your own life. So and then we're going sign by sign, so you can look at your rising sign and then your sun sign to have a more personal overview of what the month is going to hold for you. And during the month of July, we've got that the end of July was going to be more eventful and possibly finance-wise too, because we're going to have a square between Neptune and Venus. So that's like a classic alignment for potential money losses if you're not well organized. So that's why we saw that we might be seeing some people having to make quick moves with their money, maybe going to the bank to get their money out quickly. So yeah, what do you think, Janine?
Yeah, it looked like there was definitely that was a theme. And it felt like the other theme was independence from things like banks, at least for now, until we recreate some of those institutions. Or maybe we don't need to even call them institutions anymore. And maybe we just need a whole new way to do things, right? We're going to have to recreate those kind of things because they've created a bad name and they've left a bad taste in everybody's mouths. I mean, we're talking gangster bankers here for the whole time the banking industry's been around. It's literally been a scheme to gouge and literally enslave. So yeah, I don't think we're going back that way. I think if we're going to be healthy financially, more independence. And that was the theme for many months now, just around everything. But what I love about that show that we do together, Julie, is that you'll say something and I'm like shuffling the cards, and the cards will often echo, not exactly, but give another edge to and another way to see that same thing. So it's kind of fun because you're getting these two versions of, and you get a more rounded reading that way. It's like having two intuitives working on the same question or something. Yeah, it's fun, right?
And if I remember correctly, I think the Queen of Wands did a lot of showed up a lot in that Astrology of July.
Mm-hmm.
So again, taking control of your own finances and being more sovereign. Yep. Oh, JC, you're muted.
Oh, somebody said, bring back the floating head. Okay, here I am. It's a little spooky. What was cool too also, guys, for the Insider Access Pass members, we're always trying to find ways to give you more and more content and give you more and more features on the show. So this month, for the first time, we also picked a lucky winner from the Discord chat while we were recording the live Astro Woo, and we gave that person a personal reading. So both from Julie and Janine, the Tarot and Astro together. So we're going to try to continue doing things like that as we move forward. So if you haven't tried it, give it a try. I'm absolutely positive you guys are going to love that show. And oddly enough, as we started talking about this, the fireworks did end. So you guys didn't miss anything. I was watching in the background. I thought maybe there'd be another grand finale, but nope, that's about it for the fireworks tonight. Janine, before I let you go, it's 10:15. Is there anything else you were thinking about today? I know you've been traveling a lot in the last couple of days. You did the trip to Haida Gwaii. It changed you quite a bit. You were on a personal journey. There was healing, there was detox involved in all of that. And as you're putting all of these pieces together, and perhaps you're standing back to look at the big picture of what happened in the last 2 years, what would you share with the audience members who maybe today, maybe for the last week, they're starting to make headways with their friends and families in terms of maybe waking them up, in terms of bringing them on board here so that we're all rowing in the same direction to build this new world that we want to build for ourselves. What did the last month or two really teach you, and what can you share with the audience?
I got more confidence somehow to bring up my truth with loved ones. Okay, the kind of people that aren't listening and haven't been listening, but I didn't care anymore, and I wasn't pushy about it. So just having that connection with nature, I just chilled out and found a way, in a loving way, to put my 2 cents worth into conversations. So not to tuck away my truth like I was doing before. Then I was feeling stifled. And then I was angry at the people that I felt like it was their fault. I was stifling, even though that was my choice, right? Of course, it's all on, comes back to what you're choosing to do. But realizing that if I said it in a loving way and a little more subtle, because I am a Taurus, don't forget, and an ox, so I can be a bit of a bull in a china shop.
Nice.
Jean-Claude, you and Julie just the other day, remember you said, tell us what you really think.
I love it.
I was stepping that back and not like clouting people over the head with what I know, but sneaking it in the conversation in a loving, subtle way that was more empowering and was about how I just want them to, good things for them. So if I used that approach, they were a lot more, obviously, it's like just being more loving. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the nature that I've been around, like it feels like I've nonstop nature. It's just, I'm so in love with nature. I mean, we all are. I mean, at some point, a human just really needs that. And the more it all just seeps into me, the more I feel like I can be loving and more patient. So I feel like that's been really helpful.
Very good. And before we go, the Renaissance Garden is asking, Julie, can you refresh us on what that astrology says for this month? There is 2 particular alignments we looked at for the month of July. Can you maybe briefly talk about this here before we go today?
Yeah, well, there's a lot. There's a lot in July, especially towards the second half of the month. But one thing I can talk about right now is that we're going to have Jupiter stationing retrograde the whole month of July and about to go retrograde at the very end of the month of July. So whenever a planet is about to turn retrograde, it's like the spotlight is on that planet, and those specific themes are coming up more out in the open. So Jupiter talks about financial abundance, finances, also finding our purpose in life. So there's going to be a lot of focus on all Jupiter themes around the month of July, and we might see some maybe financial breakthroughs because of, again, Jupiter being financial planet. And also on a personal aspect, we're going to have to maybe take some more opportunities from the past that might be coming up again during the month of July.
Okay, very good. And Janine, you seem to be pulling cards there while Julie was speaking. Anything you want to add to that also before we go?
Well, I got the Wheel of Fortune, so I'm really hoping that that has to do with, and this guy can be about health. So I hope this whole health charade thing that's been going on for a couple of 3 years here, I really hope that does a flip and we just see that just go right out the window, because I'm really done with being like the world, unsuspecting our elders and people that aren't sort of what you'd call red pilled or whatever, are just being bombarded with just literally what seems like BS.
Right.
And I find it hard to stomach that, watching that being done to people like my 88-year-old dad and, you know, my mom. Like, she was so fearful in her last years. That's painful to watch. So I just never want to see that again here on the earth plane. That's just absurd.
Absolutely. I think my heart is with you, and so too is the hearts of everyone in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight for this live fireworks show. And who knows, we might see a lot more fireworks in the days to come. Anyways, I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you so much, Julie, for being here. And I'd love to ask each and every one of you in the chat, please do go like and share and subscribe to both Janine's channels and also Julie at Maison Jupiter on YouTube. And please leave me a comment either here in the live right now or beneath this video. Let us know how much you love these videos. Let us know how much your spirit is still strong and free and standing on guard for thee. I love you guys. Have a great evening and happy Canada Day. We'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.